the first important thing for any child and any parent in any school is the safety of the children. We're an extremely secure, comfortable and safe environment. As you've walked around the school, you've seen a lot of smiley faces with the children, lots of laughter, which shows that they feel safe and secure in the environment. And as I look out at the window right now with the snow, there's lots of happy children outside. So that's extremely important. And because we've got happy children, that means we as teachers, we can focus on the education in the school. If children enjoy being in school, they'll enjoy the lessons. And in our school, we're a dual curriculum school, so everyone follows the British programme. It's a traditional British programme that's run in schools.
But this programme starts from which age?
Age 3. We're age 3, and we have children from age 3 all the way through to age 18. So we have our kindergarten, our lower primary, upper primary, and teenagers in the secondary department as well. And ultimately, my job is to ensure that every child has the best experience in school. Yes, they want to have fun, but we want them to have the best educational experience. And ultimately, we're looking to put children, well, not put, that's the wrong word, but we're wanting children to apply and be accepted to top universities around the world, here in Moscow, Russia, Europe, the UK, North America, globally around the world. And it's my job to help my staff to ensure that every child has the best experience possible, so they get the best results possible, and at the same time they enjoy it.
Okay, thank you. And how long are you working here in this school?
In this school, CIS, this is my 4th year. I've been here, it's my 4th year. It's my first year as head of school. For the previous 3 years I was head of secondary, and I became head of school this year. And it's a role I extremely enjoy and very dedicated to and committed to. I want every child to have the best experience, I want every staff member to enjoy it and help the children. But before coming here to Skolkovo, I've been in Moscow for many years, so that helps me in my understanding of the local Russian culture, Russian families, their understanding what they want and how I can help bring their dreams alive.
And are you from Scotland, as far as I know?
Yes, I'm from Glasgow in Scotland, yes.
So what is better, Russia or Scotland?
Oh, well, my heart is obviously, both Glasgow and Moscow, both fantastic. Well, obviously, Scotland is where I'm from, very proud to be Scottish, very proud of my home city, Glasgow. I miss it dearly, but I'm very happy in Moscow. Moscow, I do consider as my home. I'm married to a local lady, she's from Moscow, and I've been here for many years. Moscow is my home. When I leave Moscow and travel with my wife to other parts of the world, when I return to Moscow, I'm home. It's a big city, it's a fantastic city.
So you will stay forever here?
Yeah, possibly. I'm not looking to leave. I'm not looking to leave, so yes.
Okay, good. What is the proportion between Russian teachers and foreign teachers?
Yep.
Expats.
Depending on the subject in the year group, in primary we've got classes, and we've generally got 2 classes per year group, and every class is led by an international teacher. And in every class is also a local learning assistant. That's a local lady who's bilingual, and she's also qualified as maybe a teacher or a translator or as a linguist. So the 2 of them work together. The international teacher is ultimately in charge and controls the environment and guides everybody. The assistant's there to help. And in secondary school, all the subjects in the British programme are taught by international staff who are either native English speakers or come from other countries that speak fluent English, and they've all got qualifications which are either British teacher training qualification, or they've got a qualification which is recognised by the British authorities. And in the Russian programme, it's local Russian teachers who are all fully qualified and experienced staff. So it's a mixture.
So is it like 80% of foreign staff or 70%?
I'd say there's about 90 academic staff in the school. 90 total, and the split is 50-50 approximately.
And what about children? This program is more for Russian children, or also you have foreigners as well?
No, the school is open for all children from around the world. The advantage for local children is because we've got the dual programme, the British and the Russian programme. The Russian children are following programmes to ultimately get their OGETA and YEGETA qualifications, so that's very attractive to the Russian families. But we're also open to international families and international children. International children, they study more in the British programme, while the Russian children in the Russian programme. But due to our location, we're just located just outside Moscow, so most of our clientele come from Russia, but we do have children throughout the school who are from different parts of the world, from Europe, from Asia, from Africa, the Americas, which enhances our global citizenship and enhances the culture and brings different ideas and flavour and colours into the school.
Okay, thank you. And what is the difference between a Russian academic program and a Cambridge academic program?
There's a lot of similarities, but one thing I'd say the difference is in the Russian program, when it comes to certain subjects like the mathematics and sciences, it's very, very in-depth and very traditional. In a good way, I like it. It's not bad. The big difference I say is in Russia, there's more emphasis on learning the techniques. Whereas in the British system, we're wanting children to think and analyse outside the techniques and take into consideration the overall experience or the knowledge or the text or the topic they're studying. My classic example, slightly silly, is in history. Russians have got a fantastic knowledge of history.
Yes,
they know all the dates, they know all the emperors, the tsars, they know all the dates.
This is traditionally.
Yes.
History is a really
it's very
important
good.
subject.
But with that, when I ask, okay, that's that, but okay, for example, the Russian Revolution, okay, that's the date, so there's facts. Why did it happen? Type thing. Whereas
when it happens, they know.
Yeah,
but why?
It's more complicated. Yeah. So in the British system, when it comes to history, we don't teach as much history, but when we teach a topic, we go further into it. Why not? Okay, World War II, the Great Patriotic War, it happened. Why did it happen? What was Germany thinking? What was Britain and Russia thinking, etc. So we try to teach them to step back from their own personal opinions and thoughts and experiences, to think from other, to acknowledge other opinions and experiences. And what they're able to do with that is they're able to build up a stronger argument or a stronger understanding of a topic. So when it comes to making a conclusion, they're better informed at coming to a decision. A teenager is very much, I like that, I don't like this. We're trying to educate them to, okay, you like that, we understand, but your mother might have a different opinion, which is valid, and why does she have that opinion, etc. So it's all about getting the children to expand their thoughts, expand their horizons, and acknowledge everyone's opinions in different backgrounds, etc. So it makes their understanding stronger. So it makes their analysis stronger, which makes their conclusions stronger.
What about cost of education here? Is it rises from year to year, or you just hold their prices? Why it's so expensive?
No, okay, it's not. We appreciate when it comes to cost, we're not us, but all the international schools, it is a considerable investment for the families. We appreciate that. That is because we've got a lot of costs to cover, both here in Russia and overseas. Our exams for the senior students are conducted from the UK. That involves costs and shipping, etc. So all these things add up. So we try to. It's difficult from the school's point of view not to raise fees every year. We don't want to raise them, but in business situation we have to every year possibly raise the fees, but that's to cover all costs. And we're in Russia, we follow all Russian regulations, we operate in the ruble here in Russia, but a lot of our costs are in euros or pounds, so obviously the fluctuations exchange rate affects things as well, so we've got to take all these things into consideration. So sometimes unfortunately we have to raise the fees on a yearly basis, but that's to ensure that we can continue delivering a quality education to the children.
Of course, this is the most important thing, the quality. Yes. What are the plans of Cambridge International School in Russia? Are you planning to open more schools, or just 3 and it's now it's enough? What are plans?
Okay, the situation is fluid. For Russia, we are the central school, and we're very solid as a business, and we're committed to the future. I'm certainly committed to the future, for the foreseeable future. We've got no plans to close schools or anything in the current climate, but we are committed. We are, as a company in general, looking at other possibilities, but we're not promising any openings in any other parts of Moscow or other cities right now. But I know the company hierarchy are looking at opportunities in different locations. But I know from experience, it's very easy to say we'll open a school in a particular city or location in Moscow, but it's far more difficult to make sure it's a success. And we've got lots of competition in Moscow, both with full international schools or private Russian schools. So there's obviously the business aspect to consider as well. So opportunities are being investigated, but there's no definite plans right now, but as a school, we are secure for the future.
This school is open at least 10 years?
Approximately 10 years, if I get my dates right. 2015, I think this campus opened. I think approximately 2015.
It was nursery and beginning school?
Yeah, it was primary
School.
Primary and a lower small secondary. When a new school opens, it's invariably primary because you need the children to grow up. It's difficult to attract a new school just with older children. So school started off as a primary, and then it's just grown through the years. And for the last many years, it's been a full school from age 3 to age 18.
And how many classes graduated from Cambridge International School in Russia?
Oh, with us, we must have nearly 10 years, coming for 10 years of graduates going off to universities. We've got a very good track record, a very good history alumni who've gone to top universities here in Moscow, Europe, the UK, overseas as well, and we're very proud of them.
Do you have connections with these people?
Yeah, we do. We've got an alumni society for former students, and there's a group of people who work on that, and they communicate, and periodically, like once a year, normally in autumn, if anybody's still in Moscow or have come back to Moscow, we bring them to school just to catch up. So we're always very happy for them to return to school and show us their successes. You know, some are in Moscow, some are in the UK, some are in America. I'm very proud of them. And they come back and they're not children anymore, they're adults.
Yeah.
And we're, you know,
do they bring maybe their children already?
We've been joking. You know, there are a couple of kids. They're not yet of school age, but there's been some jokes about that. I had actually 2 former students return to visit me just last September, and they're both former students of mine, and they're engaged now to be married in the future. So I was like, whoa, great. So we're joking about I'll be here many years with their children graduating. So,
what is the period of adaptation for children in Cambridge School?
There's not an exact science with that. Every child is different. The older the child, usually the quicker it is. But other factors come into it. If the child's got English, then they'll find it easier to fit into the class and the lessons, etc. If the child's got less English, obviously it can take them time to adapt as well. If a child's come from a large school, we usually have to quieten them down. Okay? Sometimes they come from a very small school and they're very nervous and timid. So there's not one answer. Every time we accept a child into school, we look at that child individually. We look at the personality and the character and biography of the child. We get to know the child and family as best as possible. So we understand the child, where they've come from, their backgrounds. A teenage boy is very outgoing. A teenage girl might be very studious. So it's a whole host of factors. Language is one of the biggest factors. So if they've got the stronger the English, the quicker it can be. But we always say to families, please just give it time, especially with the younger children, just please give it time. The important thing is that they enjoy being in school, they're comfortable in school, they get to form bonds with the teachers and classmates, and once that happens, then their English will start to develop, and that starts with them understanding English. Then be able to come out with phrases become sentences, then that becomes conversation, but it takes time. And if it's a younger child who's aged 3, 4, 5, 6, it's going to take 6 months, a year for them to start conversing confidently.
As early children come?
It's all to do with time. It's all to do with time. So the longer the child is in this environment, the stronger they'll be in the long term. So again, it's always time. And when it comes to the senior school, when it comes to our admissions policy, so we look at every child individually, but the older the child is, the more we're looking at the child having English, because it gets a certain stage of year 10, when they're age 14, 15, class 8, is when they start the IGCSE examination courses, and everything's in English. They've got to be writing in English, and certain subjects like English language, English literature, history, they've got to write long essays. And it's not, my name is, it's not.
Of course.
So when it's getting to that age group, we're more strict with the English language requirements.
Okay, and which percentage take EGE? It's like 5, 10 or half?
No, it's higher. About 90% of our children take the Russian program.
It's quite hard to take A-level and EGE, and you have so high percentage.
Yeah, no, that's the attraction of our school for local families. You get both programs, and you get certification in both programs, so it makes our applications to university stronger. We've got a system in place, schedules in place to make it as easy as possible, but it is demanding. But we politely keep the pressure up on the children and the parents, and we all know what is expected. So it's my job to motivate the teachers and the students to keep focused, keep up, you can do it type thing. It's challenging, it's demanding, but I'm very positive it can be successful, and it has been successful. We've got a good track record with that, and we deal with a lot of teenagers at this time of year who get nervous. So I spend a lot of my time going, it's fine, you're fine. Keep it up, keep it up.
You're like psychologist for them.
That's a big part of the job, yes, that's a big part of the job, yes.
And well, what is the main purpose of taking the EGA? They are going to Russian universities, or they are doing for themselves? What do you think?
No, okay. There's a mixture of things. Some families, some children are not sure if they'll be staying in Russia or going abroad. Or they might have plans to do one, but then it can change for whatever reason. So that's normal. So if a Russian child wants to stay at university and go to university in Russia, YIGITA makes it an easier entrance requirement. But if they don't have YIGITA and only have A levels, then they still can be admitted to Russian universities. But there's an extra hurdle with entrance examinations to take as well. Now, if a child's looking to go overseas, some children are just the Cambridge programme, that's it, but others have that YIGITA as well. And for some of them, it's just having the security of if family plans change, so they might be going abroad, and for circumstances they end up staying in Russia, so it's a bit easier. But also going abroad, it gives them extra weight in the qualifications. So A levels are obviously accepted, and YIGITA is accepted globally as well. But what it does is give them the YIGITA is a guaranteed school graduation certificate. So they graduate from school. A levels, in the British system, we don't actually have graduation. It doesn't technically exist. We talk about it, but we don't have a high school diploma like in America or Russia. What a child does or student does is they take exams in different subjects, and you get a grade for that subject. So the more grades you have, the better, but there's no minimum or maximum you must have when you leave school. You leave school at age 18 with the best grades possible. So what this does is the YIGITA shows that they've completed secondary school higher education, they've graduated with a certificate, and the A levels gives them extra qualifications. So when they're applying to university, their application is stronger compared to other applicants.
Okay, and what do you think, 1 year is enough to take YIGA program?
No, 2 years, 2 years.
Two years.
Okay, technically, right, okay, 2 years. It's demanding. Can it be done in 1 year? Yes. I strongly advise against it unless family circumstances are of such, but it is a very demanding course on its own right, like A levels, and the vast majority of our children do it for 2 years. On occasion, we might allow it for 1 year, but it's not a case of the family and child say we want 1 year, and I say yes. We sit down, we discuss it. Why do you want it? What do you think about in the future, etc. Because trying to put 2 years' work into 1 year for a teenager is rather challenging.
Yeah, it's challenging. And do you have some children who stay for 1 more year to take better exams? Is it possible?
It's possible. Yeah, it's possible. It's not like a child turns 18, 19, can't be in school. On rare occasion, a child, it's mainly when they're coming through the system, not the last couple of years, coming through the system, when we're looking ahead, that if a child's got not getting the grades quite right, for whatever reason, the child might repeat 1 year. That's normally the age of 14, 15 maybe. And that just allows them to develop. It might be to do with maturity, English language, or whatever, or they might have moved around the world, and when they've come here to Moscow, things have just been out of sync for 6 months, 9 months, so they need that extra time just to develop. So when our students are going into year 12, class 10, we want to ensure that they're all ready for the final 2 years for the A levels and YIGITA. And I can tell when they get to 18 and finish year 13, class 11, they do not want to stay in school another year, they're out.
Yeah, they want, but maybe they have not good grades. In this case,
it is possible. We haven't had a case of that because we do it in advance. We try to. We're not. Obviously, we're thinking about the child's development today, but we're looking at the long term as well, not just this year. We were analysing things for the future, so we try to intervene sooner rather than later. And I always say that I tell my staff all the time that if we think there's a problem, we don't deny it. We accept it right now, and we discuss it with the family. And it might be a difficult conversation. The family might not like it, but it's better than ignoring it. Then a few years later, there's a bigger problem. But once they come to 18, they're out.
What about the tutors? If you see children are not good with the program, but they are still willing to study and to be in the class, what do you think about tutors? Is it allowed here? Or?
Yeah, we depending on the child, we don't have one answer to that, but we've got many children that we know have got tutors at home which help. Initially, if a child's joining the school who's got weak English, we do advise please get a tutor, or if they're not, this is January and we're talking about them joining the school in September, please get a tutor and just develop the English. So we do that. We don't allow tutors to come into school, that's not allowed. But outside school, many children do have tutors, and when we know a family is using a tutor, we do ask that the tutor sticks to our program and doesn't start teaching their own program or whatever, because that can sometimes cause a little discussion. And when it comes to the academic levels of the child, it's the school grades which we look at. We don't look at the tutor says it's a grade A. Sorry, the school says it's not a grade A type thing. So we're happy with tutors, but we just ask that, and it does happen that tutors and families come into school and discuss it with the teacher, so the tutor's teaching the correct program, so they don't go off at a tangent and it's the wrong thing.
Okay, to pass EGE, all Russian students should be with tutors. That's why I'm asking.
Yeah, some of them, our senior students, I know some do, I know some don't. Our teachers here in the Russian program and the British program, they're more than happy to give extra advice to the students. So depending on the needs of that child or a group of children or the class, we'll give extra provision, but we decide that on the needs of a particular situation, rather than having it organised that we've got tuition after school for everything. We look at it on an individual basis.
Okay. And what do you think? Better to stay here or better to go to Cambridge to study? What is better?
Well, say this school, obviously. For university.
Yes, for university.
It's a difficult one to answer. I always say to people, I say to advise students and parents, is do not select a university or country. You first of all look at the course you want to do, and one university may be very good in a particular field, but another university is better for a different field. And the likes of Oxford and Cambridge and Harvard and those universities are fantastic universities, extremely elite and extremely prestigious. Not that we don't have children who can go there, but there are thousands of other universities. And we sit down with every child, and as they're going through the senior years, we help them apply to university, and we help guide them towards what's the best university for that child. So it's not a case of we're selecting Cambridge or MGU here in Moscow. It depends on every child. And the common thing is a boy aged 12 wants to do business at Harvard. I'm like, okay. Then a few years later, maybe slightly different. We've got children who are at top universities around the world, very good universities, very prestigious universities. But again, it's the correct university for that child.
Mm-hmm. And which university mostly students are going from?
There's not one particular university. We've got universities around the world.
Mostly in England or all around?
Around the world. There's not, every year group's different. So there's no consistency like this, every year they go here. It's completely different. In Moscow, the common universities are MGIMO, MGU, and the Higher School of Economics. These are the three normal ones here in Moscow. But outside of Russia, pick a country, pick a city.
King's College, which
we do.
You can remind which one?
King's. I don't think we've got any at King's College, but in London we've got students in various universities in London, Birmingham, Edinburgh, Manchester, Newcastle. We've got many students spread out. We've got students in many universities in the United States, in the New England part of the world, also in California. We've got students in Canada. We've got students in Singapore, throughout Europe, Italy, France, Germany, the Netherlands, Spain. So it's not one particular country or university. Every child's different.
Okay, good. And can students mix the schools? I mean, from Cambridge International School is a net, and can they go to another school from this chain? It happens. It could be the father's job takes them to another country, whatever, or for a person who's moving. Absolutely fine. That's part of our business. We're not a state school. We're a private business international school. So we're very used to children coming to us from other schools, or our children leaving us to go to
to another school, another country. It happens. We're sad when children leave, but usually the dad's boss decides they're going to another country, and there's procedures in place between schools informally. So usually the family, they find a school in the new city. They give the contact details for us, so the new school contact us, and we deal with all the paperwork and reports and etc. that's connected with that. So we support it. We don't like losing children, but we understand.
Okay, thank you so much.